Welcome, everyone, to the MMA Happy Hour. I am Kyle Anthony, your host. Today, we are talking UFC 300, an historic stacked card from top to bottom. We're going to be diving into 4 plays on this card. Great betting opportunities. Of course, there's going to be tons and tons of entertainment in this spot here. So my guest today, now, if you're on MMA Twitter, you're going to see this guy. You're going to see him. He's got great content, good information, play-by-play for UFC Fight Pass. Ben the Bane Davis. Ben, thanks for coming on, my man.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. I'm beyond pumped to be here. I will add the caveat, I'm the worst bettor I know. So to anyone listening, do not follow whatever the fuck I say.
I'm going to put that on the bottom. Just a little disclaimer on the bottom there.
Don't listen to Ben.
So we were supposed to have Miranda Maverick on. She may be popping in. We're going to hope she's popping in. If not, hey, we're going to have her on another time, but was really trying to get her involved in this card a little bit. But with that being said, we are going to cheers, toast, and we are going to dive into the main event of the evening. And that is between Alex Pereira, who's minus 140, and Jamahal Hill. So setting the table here in this one, we have the light heavyweight title on the line. Both big-time strikers, the current champion in Alex Pereira and the former champion in Jamahal Hill. Great striking on both sides. Interesting matchup overall. So, Bane, how do you kind of see this one playing out, and how does it end?
It's great, man. I mean, the champ that never lost his title inside the ring coming to reclaim it. There is a 4-year differential between them. He'll be in the younger, but everything else is the same. 79-inch reach on both sides, 6'3". The big caveat is the Achilles tear, right? Tim Well talked about how, hey, when I tore my Achilles, my surgeon said it's going to take a year before you can even run. That's proper. That's just getting to proper conditioning, right? That's not even going through a training camp for a UFC light heavyweight championship against one of the best strikers of all time. Now, the age is not on Pereira's side, but I just don't have faith in what version of Jamahal Hill we're going to see. I think that the footwork, which was displayed by Miguel Class, he put up a nice little video a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Hill's got some bad footwork, baby. Come on, we knew that. And the calf kicks of Alex Pereira are going to be a huge issue. Now, yes, can Jamal's really crisp striking and boxing get it done? Absolutely. Pereira's a bit slower. I think his defensive responsibility isn't as strong at 205. But then you tack on the whole personal troubles he's dealing with. Hey, the court case, that's ongoing, right? We just don't know, guys. We just don't know what version of Jamahal Hill's coming in. So give me hands still by TKO. I think Alex Pereira is going to be the second man to stop Jamahal Hill.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to agree with you in this spot here, and you definitely covered it because, I think that Jamahal has the opportunity. There's no doubt. The straight shots, everyone's talking about it. The bad footwork, that's the other part of it. The Achilles, that's terrible. But even further, I think, is even just the pure 15-month layoff. I mean, it's you add the ring rust on top of that. There's just so many things that I think doesn't work out well for him. But I do think, and again, we're all going to be saying this, that if Pereira wins, it's going to be those damn leg kicks. I mean, I was at the Yuri versus Pereira fight, and that was a fight where it was literally like the second or third leg kick on Yuri, and he was already switching stances. He was already out of sorts. And I think someone, as we're talking about, that Jamahal Hill does not have that footwork. He's heavy with the striking, heavy on the front foot, utilizing that boxing heavy approach. And I think that is where the counters for Pereira inside his combinations, hammering the leg kicks. I think also we know that Pereira is very good at checking leg kicks overall. I think it just pans out well for him. But the other thing I do want to talk about very quickly is the strength of schedule. I mean, boy, is it lopsided towards Pereira. Pereira literally his last 5 fights were all former champions. Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya twice, Jan Blachowicz, Yuri Prochazka. And then no offense to some of these guys here, but he knocks out Jimmy Crute, who's 0-3-1 out of his last 4. He knocks out Johnny Walker, who's, the Mount Rushmore of, bad chins there. Thiago Santos is on a 1-7 run, including PFL. That is not a good look either. And then he beats a 43-year-old Glover. I mean, listen, he's doing what he's supposed to do, these guys, knocking him out. But I got to go the same thing. I got to go Alex Pereira here via knockout. I think it's very live. I think it's right there. And I just also, with all these things, like you're saying, Bane, I don't think this is the best version of Hill. I just flat out don't think this is the best version of Hill. And also, it did sound like, and this could be, you know, who knows how that all works out behind the scenes, but Pereira knew he was going to be fighting on 300. He knew very long time, where it didn't sound like Hill found out, and multiple interviews, he found out like days before the announcement. And then he was, obviously, is he recovered? Is he preparing? Is he training? No offense to some of these things that we see where he's a little bit out of shape. He's not the most built guy, but, you know, that doesn't help either. So I got to go Alex Pereira here as well. We agree on the knockout. So that's going to be the main event. We agree. Let's see if we agree on this one here. And it is going to be between Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway. So this one here, you've got money coming in on Max Holloway. Actually, the money first was pouring in on Gaethje. Line got wide at like -250. It's come in tight a little bit here at -165 for the BMF belt here. Bane, how do you see this one playing out?
I'm like a trout, baby. I've been flip-flopping on this one all week long. I'm really not sure. The former featherweight kingpin, Max Blessed Holloway, taking the time to properly bulk up. This is the big detail. He's taking the time to adjust to 155, whereas he didn't do that at UFC 232 against Dustin Poirier for the interim lightweight championship. So I think we're going to see a really solid version of Max. But at the same hand, Justin's been adding so many new tools. I mean, turning away guys like Rafael Fiziev, and then obviously TKOing Poirier in the fashion that he did shows that this isn't the Gaethje that was getting pieced up and tuned up by guys like Eddie Alvarez. So I really genuinely am not sure. I think the line is pretty tight on this. Yeah, 65 plus 140. It's a coin toss. I'm going to go with Max Blessed Holloway, because I think that the chin still stands. I know that we always like to joke about how he's got not only the most strikes landed in UFC history, but the most strikes absorbed in UFC history. But there's a reason that guy's never been knocked down. He just has an ability to take shots and roll with it or not let it affect him. He's fought big power punches. He's fought really high caliber guys. And I think the volume is going to be a big issue for Justin Gaethje as this fight progresses. It's not 15, it's 25. And yes, Gaethje can end a fight at any moment, but when's the last time that Justin Gaethje got a huge TKO outside of the Poirier one? Don't mention the Poirier one. Outside of that fight, he hasn't done that to many people in a minute, you know? So I don't know. The odds of Max getting flatlined when he's never been knocked down, never been stopped with strikes, I don't think. I don't know. Give me Holloway later on the scorecards. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, this one, I mean, definitely is one where you're hearing, you know, everyone's on all kind of sides here with this one. I mean, it's like some people doing it with their heart here. You know, they love Max, what he's doing, what he's about. You know, Gaethje, you know, the BMF guy here. But, you know, I don't want to talk about the Dustin Poirier fight. I don't want to, but I think I need to just a little bit because I mean, it was a long time ago, 2019. It was a while ago. And to your point, he was not bulked up. It was like, I'm going to move up. I'm going for this. And that's definitely going to be something where we have to look at. But even in the strikes landed, and again, to your point, to the strikes landed, Max was in that fight. I mean, the strikes landed was Max 181 to Dustin 178. So right there, how close it was right there. But then the scorecards were all 49-46 due to the power, due to the power difference, due to how Max was absorbing the shots. He was rocked multiple times, made it definitely not look good in certain spots, you know, optically for the judges, where he would kind of bull rush forward again with that volume. And that is the 100% key for Max, is that volume. He has to push that volume. You know, he's going to have to walk into that fire repeatedly with him. And also, you know, it is, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how the weigh-ins are going to be. You know, really interesting to see how Max looks. You know, all accounts, it does look like he's kind of, you know, really added that muscle. That's the key, added that muscle to it. You know, but, you know, Justin's a big 155er. He is not a small guy by any means. So he is definitely going to have that strength advantage. And also, to your point, you know, he did knock out Dustin Poirier, hasn't done that very much, but you know, the last time Dustin Poirier was knocked out was Michael Johnson in 2016 and McGregor in 2014. So he is knocking out Dustin. Is definitely a little, you know, feather in the cap there when you look at it. But I really think that this is a spot. If I'm taking a spot here, it's going to be Gaethje via knockout. I am going to go there. I do think that those leg kicks are going to be there for him. You saw it work. Volkanovski was able to chop away, and I do think that that's what's going to happen. But again, if this goes a little bit further, Max's volume is going to be there. And yes, he has not been knocked out. That is definitely another part of this where he's durable. He can take the shots. He's got great footwork. He's going to have to use all of those things. So in this spot here, I'm going to go Justin Gaethje, which is around the plus 155 mark, getting off the bigger number. But if this keeps coming in and, you know, we're talking a minus 140 in that kind of range, I think the straight line is good here. But I can't blame anyone taking Max Holloway plus money. I can't deny that at all.
I mean, come on. Like, unless your name's Alexander Volkanovski, you haven't beaten Holloway in years. Like, I think seeing Holloway with a plus next to his name is bewildering. Pinch me, wake me up. That's unreal. But I understand it due to the opponent. And yeah, like you said, if this line gets any wider, if I see Holloway trending towards plus 200, bro.
Yeah.
Straight up.
That's that looks like kind of where the line came in. You know, it was like once Max hit like that 200 mark, then all of a sudden that's when people were like, we're taking this. We're betting this. I mean, this is, and that's how it kind of started to tighten in, because the initial reaction pretty much to everybody was, make sure it's going, was that Justin Gaethje was just going to run through him. I mean, the initial, oh, he's going to get killed. Oh, and I was never to that point, like, right. This is going to be lopsided. I just think that the power will be there. But again, Max Holloway at plus money is always going to be a good bet, and and a value side in this, absolutely. So, so there, we're on the other side there. But
we'll split. There we go.
It's a fair one. It's a fair one. So the next one we're going to talk about here is going to be Alexander Rakic. He's minus 125. We've got Yuri Prochazka at plus 105. Now, this is going to be an absolutely, well, many of these are going to be absolute bangers, great fights. Both these guys, high-level strikers, and it's going to be interesting to see really how Rakic kind of handles that unorthodox, awkward style of Yuri and how he's moving forward and all of these things that he does do and brings that power and just moves forward. And it's going to be interesting to see how Rakic is going to kind of bounce back from certain things. So how do you see this one playing out, and how does it finish?
It's an interesting one because Rakic is the guy in the top 15 at 205 where you go, who? What? We haven't seen much of him. I mean, I remember distinctly where I was when he knocked out Jimmy Manuwa, and I thought this guy was going to be a huge player in the division. That was in 2019. And respectfully, he hasn't shaken up many waves since. Now, I respect his skill set. I think he's pretty well-rounded. I think the grappling that he possesses is problematic. You know, he's got some really good leg kicks that he displayed against, you know, guys like Anthony Smith. But then his last time out was May of 2022, and Jan Blachowicz TKO'd him, right? So I'm like, I don't really like what I'm seeing in the resume. And Yuri Prochazka, like you said, unorthodox. Worst bag footage I've ever seen. Worst, like this guy on pads looks like day one white belt. You know, what is he doing? I don't fucking know. But I'm still gonna bet on him, of fucking course. Like the samurai himself, Yuri Prochazka. I think this is a big bounce back opportunity. I don't think Rakic is as dangerous as Alex Pereira. And in that fight, Yuri was having success until he was clipped. And like you mentioned, the leg kicks caught up to him. So can Rakic win? I'm not discounting him 100%, but have not fucking seen the guy in many moons. So give me Prochazka, comeback fight. I know he's older. I think he's what, 30? I know he's 31. He's in his prime. He's going to fucking kill him.
just that alone, he's fucking killing him.
He's dead.
He's dead. All right, so this one for me here, I definitely got to agree with you in this one here. I do agree that Yuri is the side here, and I think that really stylistically, it fits very well for what Yuri likes and what Rakic doesn't really like. And Rakic is highly technical, great kicks, you know, powerful kicks. I mean, really, really high level. But the thing about it is that Yuri thrives in chaos. He is going to move forward. He is going to pressure him. And I think that is really where Rakic is going to struggle with, really trying to find opportunities to create that space, utilize some of his pretty striking that he wants to use. He can be rough and tough, but he can be low volume. He can be a guy that can be in a little bit of trouble when he's being pressured, when he's on his back foot. He's not really able to fire off those kicks. And I think that's going to really hurt him big time when we're looking at what Yuri does. And again, even in the Prochazka fight versus Pereira, you know, those leg kicks were working, but when he moved forward, Alex was like, oh shit, like he wanted the space because how wild, how the awkward style, the angles at which he throws combinations are, you can't really prepare for that. I mean, I don't think anyone's got somebody in the gym that just starts doing all the crazy shit that Yuri does. So I think that's also a tough thing for him to come around. And then the last part for me is the injury. You know, he blew out his knee against Jan Blachowicz, and he has been out for 2 years. And this is another spot where we got to say, you know, what's the bounce back? You know, how does he look? You know, what, you know, this is a big, you know, big spot for him. And he's coming back to fight probably the best fighter he's faced. And it's at a pick'em price. It's tough spot to really say, yeah, this is, you know, he's going to run away with this. I mean, the only outlier I think for Prochazka and that Rakic could have success is when Prochazka comes in, he is very hittable. I mean, he comes in kind of wild, and even that's kind of, I think, to the point of really where, you know, Pereira clipped him, was kind of just coming in guns blazing, and one shot kind of hurt him. And that's really where I think could change certain things. But this injury to me is going to be interesting. Again, a big spot for him to come back, 2-year layoff. It's things that I do not like backing in any type of fighter here. So I like Prochazka here too. He's slight plus money. I think he gets the job done. And I think there could be the knockout coming.
I love it. I love it.
So let's go over the last one here. We got the ladies here coming in, and this is one that actually, you know, it does. The big question here for Kayla Harrison was, how's she gonna look? Right, that's the big thing. Fighting at 155 pounds at PFL, been a monster over there, you know, one blemish, and now she comes over here fighting at 135 pounds. Now, I saw some pictures and stuff of her today, putting on her gear, and she looks pretty damn shredded. Looks like she's made the weight, or not made the weight, but she's on her way. She looks in good shape. She has the muscle, and she did a couple test runs kind of thing. So how do you kind of see this one going down? You got Holly Holm. She's been the spoiler before at big underdog price here. So how do you see this one going down?
Yeah, I mean, where have we heard this story where Holly Holm is up against a championship level judo practitioner? I feel like I've read this book one time or another. And, you know, the big question is, yes, Kayla Harrison, can she make 135? That is a huge mystery about it. 155 to 135 is big. That's not a small fucking difference. And even at lightweight, you know, she struggled with the likes of Larissa Pacheco, who, not to disrespect her, because, you know, PFL does have some really credible fighters, herself one of them. But if you're not able to take down and consistently beat a girl like Larissa Pacheco, Holly Holmes fought the who's who, the best of the best. Now, I recognize she's had staggered results here. And the Myro Bueno Silva, sure, you can overturn it. That's a loss in my book. In my athletic commission, the Bain State Athletic Commission, it was a ninja choke loss. So, like, it's not like Holly's bouncing off of some serious success. I just think that she knows what to do in this spot. She's fought better competition. And I don't know. It's a big moment for Kayla Harrison. And I don't think the weight cut is as good as people are saying it's going to be. So give me Holly at plus 320.
Yeah, I mean, this was one where people like right away, oh, this is a smash spot. This is going to be Kayla all day. This is going to be, and I can agree with that to a certain point because the path is there, the wrestling is there, and all those things are there. But the one thing that Holly does incredible is her movement. You know, her footwork and her endless cardio she needs to be on a bike going around and around in a circle around that cage, and she is completely fine doing that. You know, she can work at range, utilize way better striking. Obviously, she is. You know, what is it? She's 42, and I think Kayla's 33. So there is that wide gap in age, and once it gets to that age gap, it highly favors the younger fighter. But this is just a levels kind of thing here, and when you're giving me these kind of odds with Holly Holm, you know, I kind of think it's actually going to be, if she does win, Holly, I think it'll be a decision. I don't see her putting, you know, Kayla away, which I'm assuming, which I haven't even looked at the line on the actual points, but that's got to be plus 600 or something like that, her winning by. But I think that's her only win probability. She's not going to knock her out, not going to sub her. So I think that she can just be on the outside, 1-2 combinations, kick the leg a little bit, kick the body, move around, while Kayla's just looking to dive at legs. So it's not as clear cut as I think everyone's saying. Plus, to your point, is that, yeah, I've seen some great pictures of her online. Does not mean that, she has been able to squeeze all that out of her.
How does that affect the strength? How does that affect the muscular, density at 135? You're cutting off 20 pounds. That is not, for a female, that is not a small amount, So I think, like, you think about the cardio, how it's going to affect her stamina. Like, all of these intangibles make a Holly Holm plus 320 price tag seem like a no-brainer, But I do understand the sentiment from people that go, "Oh, this is Kayla all day long." If she does get Holly down, it's probably game over.
Right. And that's the thing. If it's one, it could be done. I mean, it's definitely, if she gets her down, I don't see her getting back up. But again, to your point is, what, how is her cardio going to be? How is her movement going to be? Is she going to be able to push that pace? Is she going to have that strength advantage? Holly's no slouch either. She's got strength. And then on top of it, she's got like an 80% takedown defense rate. So she's not even been an easy female to take down on top of that. So the pieces are there. And I'm also not going to go conspiracy theory here or, tinfoil hat for you. But do you think the UFC would love to see Kayla lose here? Or do you think they'd rather her win?
I was just thinking that they wanted to lose. Why? Because she's the PFL standard for many years. She was the promotional figurehead. If you have her come in and lose to a 42-year-old fucking Holly Holm, what does that say? You are B-League, and you will never be able to reach our category. So I think that the UFC, in matchmaking this, sees something in Holly Holm, or they feel a level of confidence in Holly Holm that goes, yeah, this will, this is another nail in the coffin on our tirade against the PFL.
Right. And that's, again, it's like, is that thinking too deep? But it's also like, they could have given her maybe an easier match. I don't know if there was something else that was out there that's, and I'm not saying even Holly is this really tough matchup, but the fact that she's just going to be on her bike and circling and moving and not stopping and not just planting her feet and looking to strike, that's going to frustrate the hell out of Kayla. So it's one that I am telling, a lot of people are like, oh, hey, this is a great parlay piece, or Kayla can absolutely go out there and run through her, take her down, and finish her. But this line is absolutely wide. The probability seems way off here. So I'm definitely going to be going Holly Holm as well. And again, not a huge play here, but this is definitely the value side, which we're looking for in this particular fight. So there you have it there. And let me...
I got one last note on the Kayla Harrison. Her last fight was Aspen Ladd in November of 2020.
Oh, that's the other one. Good point.
Decision. Yeah, like, God, are you kidding me? You can't stop Aspen Ladd. It was just takedown after takedown, control time. And even on the feet, it almost looked like Aspen was having more success. Fight before that, losing in the championships to Larissa Pacheco on the scorecards. So people have this idea of Kayla Harrison. They think two-time gold medalist, and that is beyond incredible. She's a great athlete. But let's not pretend like Holly Holm hasn't been in there with some fucking dogs at the highest level. Kayla Harrison's PFL career doesn't fucking hold a candle to what Holly Holm's done.
And even and those fights were like a while ago. I mean, the Aspen one, then the other was like a year and a half ago. Like, right? It was like, I mean, the best seems like it was a while ago. Like, for Kayla, it doesn't seem like this is like her peaking. It's almost like she just lost. And then, and she's made her money. I mean, I'm not saying that, who knows? I don't know anyone's financial statements here, but, she's definitely on the right side of the MMA income side of things. So she's probably doing that, but it's almost like this is a paycheck, not a paycheck, but this is a big spot for her to make a lot of money. And, Aspen Ladd, I mean, UFC got rid of her for a reason. I mean, I don't think that they saw they thought they saw a future with her, and then they realized they don't have much here. And then she actually fights Kayla tight is definitely something that's worth looking at. And it's a good point, because that was actually something I was impressed. I'm like, you know what? Wow, that looks terrible. How that whole fight went down. Terrible.
Absolutely. That's why no one's talking about it. That's why no one on Twitter or any platform goes, oh, let's talk about how great Kayla Harrison's last fight was. You've never seen that post because no one's fucking made it. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, of course plus 320. Give it to me.
Yeah, all right, man. All right, man. So there you have it for UFC 300. Those are our bets. Those are our plays. That's what we like right now. And I'm excited for this one, man. I'm excited. Is there one fight the other fight that you're interested to talk about? If not, we can just shut this down.
I'm kind of surprised we didn't get an extended feature today. I mean, again, all the fights on this card are bananas. You know, we could have gone in on Sterling.
There's too many.
There's too many. The first one, Figueiredo, Garbrandt. I am a little surprised we didn't get into Oliveira and Tsarukyan. But
well, because you know why we didn't is because that's actually a client play of mine. So I didn't dive into that one. But what do you think about on that opener? Real quick, what do you think about the opener, Garbrandt versus Figueiredo? What do you think?
I think Figgy kills him. I think it's a very quick KO for Davis and Figueiredo. Look at how the power transferred against Rob Font and his shots inside the pocket. I mean, he's got some real good speed at bantamweight, and I haven't forgotten the Kai Kara-France fight. Right? That's still in my brain for Cody Garbrandt. So while he is bouncing back against guys like, I'm going to feel bad because I'm going to butcher. I know it's Brian Kelleher and then like something not Montel Jackson.
Trevin Jones?
Trevin Giles. Or no, Trevin Jones. Yeah. Trevin Giles is a fucking middleweight. Yeah. Like Cody's, he's having good success and looking okay against sub-tier bantamweights, but even his shin in that Kelleher fight was completely fucked up. I mean, if that fight kept going, who knows what could have occurred. So against a guy who is still elite caliber in Davis and Figueiredo at a weight class where he's hydrated and completely replenished, no, it's not going to go well. Like, I'm sorry, but yeah, Figgy by KO all day. Come on.
That's definitely. I mean, I agree. I mean, it's the same thing, and it's could Cody land something? But he's not even, besides for Kelleher, which, I mean, that's, a corpse he's basically knocking out there. I mean, but comparing that to even Trevin Jones, where Trevin Jones, if you looked at the strikes landed, it was for a 3-round fight, it was 26-20. I mean, that's almost hard to have that low of strikes over a full 3 rounds. I mean, that's really bad. He's protecting himself. He's timid in the pocket. He doesn't really want to exchange. He has the hands. Now he's starting to realize I cannot take a punch. And that's why some people were looking at the under here, that this is going to be like one of those first round finishes, but it could be one of those ones where, Garbrandt just kind of dives at legs. He's got some wrestling, now he's trying to use it a little bit. I don't know if that's a great spot for him with the way Figueiredo is on the ground, but like now he's really kind of showing his power. I think the one spot that I do like on that is inside the distance for Figueiredo either way, which is around even money. It's like -110. I think that's a good spot because you can't count on the knockout, but you can count on Cody diving at legs. I mean, you can count.
Guillotine right there. We've seen Figgy do it.
Right. And Figueiredo loves latching those things in. So I think it's a spot where that can possibly happen as well too. And I think that he is live for that, especially at this number, because you're looking at it was like, I think Figueiredo was like -350. If you get him inside the distance, it's at a pick'em price. I think that's pretty damn good when you're looking at it.
Money, baby. Money. That's what we get here, Kyle.
All right. So there you have it for UFC 300. We gave you all we can. Listen, Miranda did not come on the show. We will get her back on. We'll eat some pickles. We'll drink some beers. Yeah. Miranda,
we have you for the pickles here, Miranda.
All right, babe. Thanks for coming on, buddy. We'll do this again sometime, and enjoy the fights. Let's make some money this weekend.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you.